Tap in, y'all. We about to get to it. Let's get to it. We gonna get to it. Oh, yeah, that's supposed to be here. Aha. Pepperoni, great. Woo! 1 second, y'all. I'll get it in a minute. Don't worry, my pieces are built for tough, so we ain't got to worry about it. Tap in, everybody. Who we got? Peace, 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 man. How you doing today? Everything copacetic? Class is in session. You ain't lying. You ain't lying, yo. Class is definitely in session. Let me get my laptop so we can get to it. I like that. Class is in session. You ain't not lying, bro. You ain't lying. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we got to kick these facts, man, because if we don't, and see, I'm the kind of person, man, I don't just like to talk without actual solutions. Like I was talking to the brother yesterday and we was building and he was like, well, what do we do? You know, every black leader that we've had in America, they've always murdered and killed them. Whether it been Malcolm, Martin, you know what I'm saying, Dr. Khalid, Muhammad, it's only been a few, you know what I'm saying? But the few that we have that really didn't really make that much change, they kept them alive because they were using them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's part of the process of becoming free. Part of the process of becoming free is understanding that when you put yourself in a position to protect those that you love and protect the people that you love, the situation is that, hey, you know what I'm saying, the consequences for that could be you lose your life. But the thing about it is that history always writes you as a noble and good person. But, you know what I'm saying, sometimes you have to lose your life within the process. And I've been a fighter for a long time. So, you know, I have no problem with, any fight you get in, man, whether it be street fight, this fight or whatever, any fight you get in, there's a process where you might die. And we just have to chalk that up, man, as part of the movement, man. You know what I'm saying? And once you understand that, man, then everything else will be a part of this thing. But I always say that if you is going to go out, go out with a bang. You know what I'm saying? Don't go out like no sucker. And that's for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? And don't be no crash dummy. Don't crash out for nothing stupid. If you go stand for something, stand for something. You know what I'm saying? And if it costs you whatever, it costs you the ultimate price, you know what I'm saying? Make sure that it's worth it. Ashe? Ashe. You know what I'm saying? So, I appreciate everybody that's tapped in today, man. Y'all know what this is. It's the Nesubiti Menkepera Thutmoses the Great. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot going on in the world, man. And if there's anything I want our people to be prepared for, is to be prepared for what's going on in the world right now. Don't get caught slipping because you got caught up in, you know what I'm saying, a few things, this, that, and whatever. You know what I'm saying? Be prepared, man. Be prepared because in these days and times, you gotta be prepared. You know what I'm saying? I hate to see a lot of our brothers, man, walking around unprepared. Ashe? Ashe, hold on one second. You know, appreciate everybody that's tapped in today, man. We're gonna continue on with what we was talking about yesterday because it's very, very important. I didn't get a chance to do my second show like I wanted to, but you know, it's very, very important. Very, very important. You know what I'm saying? We're going to continue to talk about the power of the pen. And the reason why I want to continue to talk about the power of the pen is because a lot of our problems, and I keep saying this all the time, a lot of our problems, man, they come from our lack of understanding what power really is. And how we're in a situation where we keep seeing ourselves being put on repeat, but actually not having no solutions for none of our problems. We keep thinking that by going to the voting poll, by going to put one of these presidents in office and let them sit there and convince us that, you know what I'm saying, they're going to do right by us, and, you know what I'm saying, they're going to make sure they take care of black people and this, that, and whatever. We keep finding out and seeing that that's not going to be the case. Everybody that voted for Donald Trump and thought that that man was going to actually bring some kind of solutions to the black community, well, you found out that really what he did was he set you up. He set you up for disappointment. He set you up for, you know what I'm saying, plays you for a fool. And you're still in the same condition, if not worse, than you was before. I remember Barack Obama saying that when he was in office, he asked people, he said, are you in a better position now than you were 4 years ago? And a lot of people said, yes, they was. Can we say that now that Trump is in office, that we're in a better position than we was before? I'm not sure. Hold on 1 second, y'all. You know, and I think I'm going to play some of those old clips that Donald Trump came out with, and we're going to revisit those and see. And we already know this. This ain't nothing that I'm saying to you that you don't already know. Any man with common sense knows now that these years that Trump has been in office and the previous years that Trump has been in office, that the situation has gotten worse. Our situation has not improved. Our economic situation has not improved. You know what I'm saying? We are not prioritized as a people. And on top of that, a lot of the so-called leaders in the black community don't really have a solution because their mind isn't as creative as it should be. One thing I learned from the great Shaka Zulu is that Shaka said that in order for a good king to be a good king, he must be creative, meaning that you must have the ability to tap your mind into the ethers and pull out solutions and ideas that are going to benefit your kingdom. If you're going to war and your enemy has came up with a way of going against your offenses, then you have to have a creative mind in order to change your strategy, change your position, and put your knowledge to work. Put your creativity to work. And I really don't see a lot of the creativeness that I would be expecting. A lot of our people and our so-called leaders are using their creativity for things that I don't see as beneficial for us as a whole. You know what I'm saying? So one of the things that I've been hearing about us complaining about has been the fact that we don't have any currency. We're totally dependent upon white people after they're finished using the currency to take the banks and say, hey, give these people a loan, after we've already seen that the banks have discriminated against us time and time and time and time and time again. Which, when you actually think about it, when you actually think about it, you know, the people that are on these dollars, so let me show you, let's look at it for a second. You know what I'm saying? The people that are actually on these dollars weren't freedom fighters for black people. I don't remember him being a freedom fighter or a person that was obligated to the black community. Do you? I don't remember him being obligated to black people. Let's look at some more bills. Hold on. What about him? What about good old Andrew Jackson? I guarantee you, if he was running the actual banking system, he would make sure that our people did not get no money. He would make sure that our people remain hungry and starving. I think it's a miracle, just keeping it way 100 with you. I think it's a miracle that we continue to survive economically when we have a whole nation of people who work tirelessly against us, who work completely tirelessly against us. How do we continue to make money in a system where we are being literally cursed by the people in the system? No representation, monetary wise. None of this money looks like us. None of this money has any president or any black established person that looks like us. Then we wonder why the money that we use always end up being used for evil. All you have to do is look at who's on the dollar, who's on here. And then you will see that it wasn't meant for us in the first place. And trust me, I get it. You know, we don't have the technology to print and make our own dollars. We don't have the technology or the unification to go around and, you know, unite our people behind our own currency. And I think we already know that if we did come out with our own currency, white America would be up in arms about it. And on top of that, they would probably declare war on us about it. They would tell us that we didn't have the right as human beings to come out with our own currency that we can use in our own black established businesses. They would tell us that we didn't have the right up under the United States government, penal code, whatever they would come out with, and then they will lock up anybody who actually tried to come up with this idea. And if you don't believe me, I can point you to a case in Africa where the Africans came out with their own currency and a man was killed, murdered, and tortured for doing that. So we know that it's always been a high stake for any independence that we strive for in America. Any independence that we strive for in America is always met with brutal force from a totalitarian government, from a dictatorship government that disguises itself as a democracy, that disguises itself as a freedom-loving country, yet that freedom is not for its captives who they have held captive for a very, very long time. We are supposed to just get along to get along. We are supposed to just let them lead the way, even if that way is completely off of a cliff. We are supposed to just shut up and behave and let the intelligent man who has stolen all of our ideas, let them lead the way. We are supposed to just let those who continue to curse us be the leaders of our community. It has to come to a point, man, with that way of thinking, has to stop. We can't continue to just let these people flood our communities with drugs, build a whole prison to pipeline system, get mad at state officials when they don't lock us up in tremendous amount of numbers so they can fill up their privately owned prisons and continue to put all of these abortion clinics inside of our communities and watch our numbers dwindle, watch our finances continue to fall, watch us continue to suffer inside of a system that was not built for us. It has to come to a point where you have to say enough is enough. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of just getting along to get along. I'm tired of being sucker punched by every United States of America president that comes in office and promises us that he's going to do all of these tremendous things for us. And like Donald Trump said, he's going to be the best black president that black people have ever seen, only to turn around and have them spit in our faces. I know you guys are tired of it just like I am. I know you guys are tired of constantly being lied to, constantly being played for a fool, constantly seeing white America have one policy for themselves while having another policy for us, and then sitting around and acting like we're stupid for pointing out the obvious. I know you're tired of it, because I am. I'm a student of history, and every president that I have seen that has tried to do something for black people has been assassinated. Every person that I've seen, every black person that I've seen who's tried to do something for black people has either been assassinated or made a fool of. And that's why I tell you that we have to start legislating for ourselves. Integration into the legislation system inside of America has not done anything for us. Only thing it has done is give them the opportunity to write whatever they have written in office out of office. But see, when you write for yourself, you're not going to commit suicide for yourself. You're going to make sure that when you're taking care of your own house, that the bills are paid, that everything within that household is taken care of. And you're going to always prioritize yourself. How much tax money do we give to white America every year only for them to turn around and take that tax money and not use it for us in our community, but use it for Europe? Use it for some kind of covert research lab for some new experiment that they want to do. And then turn around when we say, hey, well, you know, after 400 years of free labor, can we get some reparations, man, for all the work, the hard work that we have put into this nation? I mean, shit, we only want what we deserve. Only for them to turn around and say, no, and you don't deserve it. And, you know, as they just told the UN a couple of days ago, slavery wasn't illegal. So being that slavery wasn't illegal, you just got to chalk it up to the game. You're just going to have to sit there and figure it out on your own. Well, guess what? We have figured it out on our own. We are going to pull ourselves up by our own bootstraps. And the time has come for us to be more accountable and more creative for our own communities. And we're going to use our pen the same way that you use yours. Now, of course, you know, dealing with the racist Americans that plague this country. We're always going to be met with opposition. I expect that. And I wanted to tell that young brother yesterday when we was on the phone talking, he was talking about Dr. Malachi Z. York and how they destroyed his land and stuff like that. Listen, that's American history. And that's really world history. If you don't defend what you have, you won't have it. If you're not willing to make the sacrifices for it, you won't have it. And that goes for anything. That goes for your house. That goes for your car. That goes for any possession of property that you have. You're always going to have somebody who's going to be jealous of what you have accomplished and going to seek to destroy what you have. Like I've told you guys before, you know what I'm saying? I have 160 acres of land. And it ain't been no black people that's going on my land and destroyed things. It's all been white people. Everything that I've built on my land, white people have come over and destroyed it or stolen off of it. Do I get mad about it? Of course I did. I've spent thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars striving to accomplish something without their assistance, striving to accomplish something for myself and for my family, only to be met with the same brutality that my ancestors have been met with. But do I stop? No. What do? We organize. We put our own troops on our land and we secure it and defend it. Just like every other nation of people do on this planet. If you're not willing to defend what you have, you won't have it, period. If you're not willing to stand up and defend it, you won't have it. Listen, and sometimes the enemy, well, let me say not sometimes, but all the time, the enemy will disguise himself as an officer, a legit officer, a legit judge, a legit lawyer, and work against you to destroy any kind of economic achievement that you have accomplished. That's part of the game. Part of the game is that, hey, if we want to be free in America, we're going to have to defend what we have. That means that sometimes you're going to have to go against people dressed up as officers. Sometimes you're going to have to go against people dressed up as agents. That's part of the game. You're going to have to treat them as if who they are, intruders on your property and your establishment. You know, one of the greatest tricks that the devil has ever pulled is making people believe that he does not exist. You know, I remember a time when the Nation of Islam would call Europeans out for what they were, devils. I don't know when that changed or who changed it, but I don't really hear it that much spoken as it used to be. But you got to call them out for what they are. They're the devils to our people. And they look at us the same way. So the thing about it is that once that line is drawn in the sand, just make sure you stay on your side of the line. And when you stand on your side of the line, you need not worry about any kind of confusion when dealing with him. It wouldn't matter if he had on a police officer uniform. It wouldn't matter if he had on a firefighter uniform. It wouldn't matter what kind of uniform he has on, because at the end of the day, you realize that they are who they are. We We just have to get back to doing what we've been doing, but we've been so petrified by fear that it has stopped us from accomplishing the things that we want to accomplish. And a lot of us in the community has taken the sucker route of not being, you know what I'm saying, righteous people in the community, but poisoners of the community. Not giving the people bread and water, but giving them drugs and guns. Not using the drugs and guns to defend themselves against white supremacy, but using the drugs and guns to poison their own community and shoot those who they consider to be stopping them from making their money. And that has become the prevailing culture of our community now. And I get it. Brother, you got to do what you got to do to survive. I get it. But at the end of the day, you're no different than them. And that's the sad truth, whether you want to admit it or not. The facts is what they are. You know, it's a lot of hard truths that we have to face within our own community of why we haven't progressed to a certain level. And a lot of it is because we have the wrong leadership inside of our communities. We look up to the brother that has accomplished, I got all the money, and, the girls look at that and they see, he can take care of me and the baby and this and that and it. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Wealth has always been a tool that's been used to manipulate people. Always been a tool. When I think about the hip hop community, I remember it changing during, Biggie Smalls coming out with his song and talking about, we eating caviar and things like that, all things that when we were sitting out there in the po house and we was watching white folks out there, coming up with the lifestyles of the rich and famous, we wanted to idolize that because, being a poor black man was something really, really hard, especially when you're uneducated. You can't read and write. You can't do for self. You aren't allowed to do for self. You have no glorified image of yourself. The only glorified image you see is the person who has just enslaved you for 400 years and have taken all of that wealth and resources to turn around and make himself rich off of the back of your people. He's riding around in Rolls Royces, Mercedes Benzes, and Lexuses, and he's going around the world doing trade, and he got an economic system that has made himself rich, and all off of the backs of your ancestors, and you sitting around looking broke, confused, mistreated. I get it. I know where it all stems from. I understand the whole plight of everything that we have been through. And I know why the psychology is the way that it is inside of the black people community. We don't want to be poor. Being broke is a burden. Not just to yourself, but to those around you. Being poor is a disease. So a lot of us would do any and everything, even if it means stepping on the next brother and sister to get where we want to go, to get that stench of being broke off of us. But that story is not a new story. That's a story that has prevailed for everybody on every aspect of the globe. You can go to the Chinese movement and look at the peasant movement in China. You can go to South Africa and look at the shanty towns of South Africa. You can go to Kenya, Uganda, Rome, Nobody wants to be poor. Nobody wants to be worthless. Nobody wants to be looked at as a burden. The major motivation factor for white people to even come to America is because they were living in horrendous conditions in Europe. The Queen was telling them that if they had a problem, they need to just go eat cake. Treating them like garbage. You know, when I studied Europe, I said, man, these people had it bad. It's no wonder that they're willing to sacrifice their own fellow human being for wealth. Bring Africans over here to have them work in the fields which they're not able to do in order to establish wealth for themselves. They were willing to step on the backs of their own fellow human beings for wealth. Because in their country from which they came from, they were looked at as scum, to put it in Trump's words. They were looked at as degenerate human beings. They were looked at as indigent servants. They were looked at as criminals, which is why they ended up over here in America in the first place. See, and what they did was, once they established themselves a system and gained their independence from Europe, they turned around and used the pen to legislate everything that they wanted into existence. The pen is a mighty weapon, and if used properly, not only can it free you, but it can bring you wealth. It can bring you resources. It can bring you trade. It can bring you abundance. Everything, once you break down society and you look at society for what it truly is, you'll realize two things. Everything that you want comes out of the soil. Let me say that again. Everything you want comes out of the soil. Everything you need comes out of the soil. Man can shape and fashion anything he wants by using his mind into existence, by using the elements that are around him to not just fulfill his wants, but also fulfill his needs. Every car that you see in the ground, every car that you see driving around on this planet was once just dirt on the ground. Was just dirt. Everything that you see around you was once just dirt. Everything. When I sit around and I design the things that I want to design, right? This is old. I'm gonna show you an old piece of paper. Show you how old. This is an old piece of paper, or old design. Well, I'm not gonna show you this one. This is a top secret one. That's for a a design of a car that I made. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can find it. But forget it. Let me just show it to you. So this is the design for a car that I made. Now, I'm not going to tell you exactly what's going on in there, but this is the power of the pen. Anything that you want to make or design, you can just literally sit down, draw it out, and then put the elements together, and create it. Anything. Anything that you want to manifest into existence can be manifested into existence by using one of the greatest and oldest magic tricks on the planet. The pen and the papyrus paper of the Nile. People always wonder how in ancient Egypt people were able to build great monuments. This is the paper I wanted to show you. Build great monuments in the sky. Great pyramids. Great temples. Great chariots. Great all kind of things. Guess what? It started with these two things right here. This is an old design. This paper is probably so old now that it's starting to fall apart, but I'll let you look at it. This is a cartouche, which I wear on my arms now. This is an apron that you see me wearing right here, right now. This is a crown that you see on my head now. All started from pen and paper. All started from the understanding that thoughts from the mind can manifest themselves into existence. This is the design of an electron chariot that I'm in the process of building right now. All thoughts manifested into existence. I'm not sitting around talking about which block I want to put drugs on. I'm not sitting around talking about who I want to manipulate out of money or scam or boost out of some store. Because my thoughts aren't that feeble-minded, to use Margaret Singer's wording. I use my thoughts to manifest my own creation into existence now. I'm not trying to get the latest Gucci off of the racks at Nordstrom or Macy's or whatever. Because those same designs that you see in those stores all started from these two elements right here. The pen and the paper. Everything that you want to manifest into existence starts with some of the most basic understanding of magic. People get mad at me and say, "Oh, why are you doing this and that? And you're doing this and you shouldn't be doing that. And why are you doing that? Why are you doing this?" Listen, everybody and their mama got a pen and paper in their house right now. You can use those same two elements to manifest whatever you want into existence right now. You ain't got to sit around and worship your former slave master's thoughts. You can worship your own. You can be the manifester of your own destiny. When people look at ancient Kemet and they see all the beautiful things that have been created there, they forget that it all started with these two things. Every temple, every monument, every hieroglyph that you see on the wall, everything that you see started off with the two most important inventions that our ancestors ever created. Paper and pen. Real simple. Everything that you want to manifest into existence in your life can be done with these two elements. Why do you think they work so hard to keep you from learning how to read and write? Now, they're not going to tell you how powerful these two elements are. They're not going to tell you that, hey, your freedom starts with your understanding of the power of how to legislate and manifest things into existence. I hear a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, shout out to a lot of brothers out there that speak on the power of manifestation every day. But I never hear them talk about the power of the pen and the paper. But then when I sit back and analyze them and say, well, what have they created? Then the understanding gets a little bit deeper. It gets a little bit deeper then. And see, this ain't nothing new. A lot of the Masons who understand the power of these two elements have manifested whole societies into existence, have used their sorcery and their magic power, not just for good, but for evil also. Once you have that complete knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of what's really going on in this world and who has the power, you realize is that it goes back to the old thing saying of my people suffer from a lack of understanding. They suffer because they don't understand how much power they really have. When you don't understand how much power you really have, you find yourself doing a whole lot of foolishness. You find yourself having an idle mind. And an idle mind, you know the rest. Anything that we want to put into existence, man, it starts with the understanding of these two elements. When Carmelo Anthony got sentenced to 35 years, guess what two elements that they used to do that? I hereby sentence you with the pen. I hereby sentence you to 35 years and the correctional facility of such and such and such and such. Then what happens? They hand that piece of paper over like a spell to one of their demons, and off he goes to hell. The pen is mightier than the sword when used correctly. Once you understand how powerful this pen and paper is, guess what? Now you have infinite potential, possibilities, and wealth. Because like I told you before, everything that is manifested on this planet first started off as dust. First started off as dirt. First started off as nothing. You see money, I see paper and pen. Let me say that again. You see money, I see paper and pen. That's the difference in the thinking of those who have and those who don't. The understanding of being able to see through the matrix and through the BS, and those who don't see through the matrix and the BS. Every desire that I want, I can manifest with just these two elements. And being that I can manifest anything that I want with just these two elements, that means I can't be bought nor sold. I can't be bought. You can't buy me out because I worship what I create, not what you create. Ashe? And when a man has that much power and ability, it's hard to enslave him. See, slavery comes in all different kinds and forms. It's like the old saying, man. It's so deep, man. What I'm speaking on right now, I really want you to understand it. It's a part in the Shaka Zulu movie where Shaka's talk about how do you catch a baboon. You come up with a nice little shiny object. They put it inside of a tree where you can put your hand in there and grab the object, but you can't pull your hand out because the object is too big for your hand and the object to come out. The only way you can free yourself is to let the object go and pull your hand out. A lot of us rather stay stuck in this shithole because we want to hold on to these objects that we deem to be worth something. So rather than let it go and become free, we gladly keep our hands inside of there, knowing that we'll never really obtain the object itself, but just the thought of having it is good enough. See, what I've learned from being a revolutionary for so long is that black people don't really want to be free. They really just want more shiny objects. They really just want to be treated better by white America. You don't want the ability to manifest your own existence. You want the ability to get the things that he has acquired and manifest it into existence. You don't want to build or make anything for yourself. You want him to make it for you. And then you want to get it and show it off to everybody and be like, hey, look what I've got. But you ain't got nothing because you can't take none of it with you. Nor did you create it. That's why I look at niggas and I just laugh. Because your level of understanding as to your own power is like this much. And they know that. They look at you and they laugh too. But when you understand how powerful these two objects is, you need not worship them no more. Because literally everything that you want, you have the power to manifest it into existence for oneself. You have that power. But if you don't use your power, you'll find yourself captivated by somebody else's power. I always tell people, those who don't know themselves fall victim to those who do. Let me say that again. Those who don't know themselves fall victim to those who do. Those who don't know themselves fall victim to those who do. Step your game up, folks. Step it up. We got to get past this whole aspect that we're going through right now. The vibrational thinking amongst our people is very, very low right now. Very low. I know a lot of you feel like you've reached your full potential, but you haven't. You're still vibrating at a very low frequency. Very low. How many people have fought and died for this? This is a curse. To our people, it is. It's been a curse. Near one of these presidents like you. None of them. Except for Abraham Lincoln. But every last one of these presidents will enslave you and has enslaved you. They've used their sorcery and their magic power to enslave you. They got you running around the majority of your time. They got you running around spending the majority of your time to acquire them for things that come out of the earth. Every car, every truck, every house. Like I said, was once started off as just dust and dirt. The magic spell is so deep amongst our people that we don't even know that we up under a spell. We don't even know that we're up under a spell. That's how deep the magic spell really is. This is the greatest magic wand ever created. This is the greatest magic wand ever created. And we're not using it. I sat there and watched Trump. His first couple months, all he did was sit at the table and cast spells. Bring more paper in. As they kept putting the spells on the table, he kept writing. Bring me some more spells. I need more spells. That's all he did. Wave his magic wand around and cast spells for power. That's all he did. And that's why I tell black folks, I say, listen, the head of the clan, they called themselves wizards. They called themselves sorcerers for a reason. Because the whole object and goal is to work their magic against us. Work that science of understanding against us. We sit around asking him, could you please relieve the suffering that we are feeling in this nation, only to have them tell you, no. But it's all because we have a lack of understanding. You know, after 400 years of brutality, torture, terrorism, you know, all you want is just a little bit of relief from all of that. And you forget that you had this power in the first place. You forget that you have power too. You forget that. But I haven't forgot. I haven't forgot at all. And that's why I want to give you the knowledge also. What you're seeing that's going on right now in Iran with this so-called war that's about to go on between these two sorcerer nations of the Iranians and the Europeans is a fight of magic. Every missile that you see over there that the Iranians are launching, every drone that you see that they're launching, every aircraft that you see that they put up in the air, every bomb that you see that they drop, every gun that you see that they have in their hand, all started from this. Pen and paper. The MOA that they talk about, the Memorandum of Understanding, all started from this is what I will do, this is what you will do, all pen and paper. All pen and paper. All of it. See, sometimes, man, you have to just sit back and peel back the layers and look at what's really going on and where power really comes from. Your ability to manifest things into existence is a power that everybody has, but some of us use it a little bit better than others. Vast nation was their ability to work their pen. The ability to legislate and manifest things into existence by simply the stroke of a pen. Seems like a very simple concept, but the fact of the matter is that majority of the society don't know how to use it. The majority of society can't see the obvious at all. They don't know that this is just paper and pen. They don't know that. To them, this is something that is actually living and breathing. And they will literally trade their souls for it. That's how deep the magic really is. The magic is so deep that the people who sign their signatures on here literally control populations and populations and populations and populations of people, not just in America, but across the world. The magic that they speak of in the Bible that the Pharaoh had control over, this is the magic right here. This is it. This manifested and wrote a whole civilization into existence. Every temple, every monument, every chariot, every building, all started from the king's understanding of how to take the thoughts in mind and manifest them on paper. The duality of life. The duality of being to visualize something, see it, write it down, then build it. Are we doing that in our communities, black folks? Are we using our pen to the best of our ability? Or are we just using our pen for BS? I remember when I was incarcerated, to show you how deep it is. When I was incarcerated, I would use my pen. I would sit there. I've created so many things into existence on paper that the correctional officers was very, very mad of my influence that I had over my brothers that were incarcerated with me. They would literally come in my cell and confiscate all my writings. Page after page after page after page after page of ideas and thoughts stolen out of my possession. See, people forget that the CIA doesn't stand just for Central Intelligence Agency. It also stands for Counter Intelligence Agency, meaning they want to counter the intelligent people of the world. They don't want you to be too smart. You're too smart, you start figuring out things that you aren't supposed to figure out, and next thing you know, you're doing things you ain't supposed to do that they don't want you to do. Because there's literally nothing that you can't do. Nothing. There's nothing that you can't do when you put your mind to it. You know, we was always taught that as a kid. There's nothing you can't do if you don't put your mind to it. Well, the thing is that they don't really want you doing all that stuff. Don't really want you doing all that stuff. Because you start doing all that stuff, man, and next thing you know, you done figured out some things you ain't supposed to figure out. Start behaving in a way that you ain't supposed to behaving. But long as you following in the sheep path and you behaving and acting like everybody else, and you following the trends that everybody else is following, and now everything, you know, they ain't worried about you no more because they control your thoughts. But a man that can control his own thoughts and take his thoughts and manifest them into existence, well, that's a whole different kind of man. He's not longer a man no more. He's a God. Because now he's literally writing his future into existence. He's writing and drawing his reality. He's not captivated by the reality of another man. He's captivated by his own. That's power. That's wealth. That's abundance. The beautiful thing about having melanin is you see in color. You can create in your mind in color. You're more tapped into the ethers of the world because you have an antenna system that vibrates electrical energy. But if you don't understand that, then you're just dormant. You are who you've been looking for. You are who you've been looking for. Listen. You are who you've been looking for. All of us is captivated by what's going on, not realizing the power that we have within oneself. the abilities to manifest and create our own reality is a day-to-day thing. You have that power. You have that ability. Use it. Use it to your best ability. Be the best you that you can be. Don't worry about other people's thoughts, opinions, and criticism of you. Because 9 times out of 10, when you pull the layers back on them, it's nothing there. They're made of figures of somebody else's reality. They're walking around living somebody else's dream. They're captivated by somebody else's magic. They're captivated. They're small-minded, and they don't realize their power. If you'd like to call in, you know the phone lines is always open. You can call in at 323-497-6825. 323-497-6825. Everything that I've ever wanted in my life, I have achieved. I need not want for anything. I have everything because the number one thing that I have is self. And I know that anything that I want to do, I can. It's not dictated by another man. The only men that I have to fight off is the jealous ones. That's it. That's the only thing that you have to worry about is the evil sorcerers who want to destroy you because of your magical powers and your ability. Those are the only people that I have to worry about. Not the peasants, not the ignorant people, but those who know the power and want to keep you up under the spell for their own benefit. We've been used as a people for a very long time over here. But it's time for us to gain our powers back and use them for greatness. Ashe? Ashe. One more thing. Let me see what else I was looking for. But yeah, the number is 323-497-6825. What do you think about us coming out with our own currency? And are you willing to be a participant in it? Somebody said, what powers? The greatest power, the power of self, the power to create and manifest into existence. I'm looking at this piece right here. I think I might want to put this piece on right here. Beautiful. Don't be shy. If you want to call, if you got anything you want to ask, or if you need any guidance on how to use your own power, by all means, I'm here to help. I love this piece right here. This got to be one of the dopest Africa pieces ever made. Dope. Fresh and fly. But yeah, like I said, You see money, I see pen and paper. You see wealth, I see a curse. You see all I see is pen and paper. And when you have that high and much of an existence in your mind, it's hard for you to be bought by anybody. It's hard. When you can manifest your own reality, it's hard to be bought. If you can't manifest your own reality, then you will forever be bought and you will forever be a slave. And that goes for white and black people. So I have a few concepts that we're already coming out with as far as dealing with our own currency. And it's beautiful. I'm not going to really do it over here on the channel because that's kind of top secret information, but it's a movement that's going on right now. Inside of our community. We got to break all these spells and curses, man, that have been put upon us. I really want you to understand that. We have to break these spells. We have to. If we don't break these spells, then we're going to continue to see ourselves dwindle. We're going to continue to see ourselves in poverty. We're going to continue to see ourselves without. Once we break the spells and break this sorcerer's witchcraft that he has placed upon our people, then we can move back forward and become the children of the sun again, as opposed to being victimized by the children of darkness. Like I tell you, it's not by mistake, man, that every few months they keep coming out with these vampire movies. They want you to believe that that's just fiction, that that's just nonfiction. I mean, that that's just a fictional thing or whatever. But the fact of the matter is that the reason why they keep showing you all of these different images of themselves is because that's the reality that they want to keep purveying to their people. They push movies of vampirism is because that's how their society has been set up. They've been set up to be vampires, not just of us, but of the whole world. They want to steal all of the resources and all the blood of the people and siphon it off to themselves. And the reason why they want to do that is because that's their nature. You think they just show you vampires getting burnt up by the sun because that's just something that happens? No. That's the reality in which they face. They've had a vampire history, and they're not children of the sun. The sun does not shine his light on them and give them glory. They would love to be out there in the sun and have fun in the sun, but they know that that comes with a penalty and a cost. They got to put on all this sunblock, all of this stuff to try to block out what gives everything else life. Flowers don't need sunblock. Trees don't need sunblock. So that shows you, man, just who they are, and they love to hide in plain sight. They love to. They hide in plain sight for a reason. Because they have to get their people used to the idea of who they are and accept it as a culture. Vampirism has become a culture for them. Those who drink the blood of children and people have become a culture for them. They came out with that show Twilight. That was a whole cultural revolution for them. They can dress up like goth people and act like they're vampires, and because that's who they are. That's where their source of power come from. Those who worship the sun, those who worship the moon. They get their power, they work their sorcery, they work their magic with their pen. They're very, very in tune with who they are. It's just us who don't know who we are no more. We have forgotten that we have the same powers, just on a different level. We've forgotten that we have the same abilities, just on a different level. And it's not until you understand that you understand them. But once you understand that, there should be no mistaking no more. You shouldn't be confused, because you understand that the truth is what it is. And this is an ancient knowledge. Very, very ancient knowledge. Very, very ancient knowledge. Hey, don't just put your comments don't just put your comment. Call up. If you dispute anything that I'm saying, please. You have the right to face your accuser. The number is 323-497-6825. That's 323-497-6825. Usually when nobody calls, it just lets me know that I'm right on time, I'm right on point. Because you really can't dispute the truth. The truth is what it is, and will always be what it is. So when nobody calls, I kind of like that, because it's like, oh, okay. Everybody think I'm right. Everybody know that I'm right. You know what I'm saying? Truth is what it is. It can't be disputed. And that's why I tell you, black folks, we got to step our game up. You know, a lot of these black folks out here they think they know, and oh, this is the nah. You only know a piece of it. A lot of y'all don't have the inherent knowledge or haven't studied the ancestors long enough to actually see the divine truth and the divine universal light of what's actually going on. Like over there in Iran, what's really going on over there in Iran right now, it's not just a war between radical terrorism and, see, they're super radical. They're the most extremist people on the planet, because they truly believe and know what they are and who they are. So they don't half-ass with anything that they're doing. White people have always been extremists, terrorists. They only get mad when you become as extreme as they are, or as terroristic as they are. Then it's a problem. Then they want to call you what they are. They're calling Iran terrorist organization and the most terrorist state because they're doing the exact same things that they are. They're all the way over there in Iran trying to govern a piece of water off the coast of that people's country. They're all the way over there in another country trying to tell those people what they can and cannot do. If that ain't extreme, I don't know what is. If that ain't a terrorist goes to another country, bombs that country, I don't know what terrorism is. It's only a problem when it's done to them. Then the other side is called a terrorist and an extremist. You're extreme. Well, what the hell are you? You've come over here, kidnapped people, destroyed the natives, forced a fake religion on them, blown them up, enslaved them, but that's not extreme. That's not extreme terrorism. Taking all of the resources and then told everybody, you can't have none of the resources unless you have one of these. You can't cut no tree down. You can't use the rock. You can't use the land. You can't do nothing unless you have an engraven, idolistic image of us on a piece of paper in order for you to eat, have housing, or travel. If that's not extremism, I don't know what extremism is. This is the greatest form of extremism, the greatest form of terrorism. To capture human beings, take their resources from them, and then tell them, same people that call themselves Christians, tell them that they cannot eat, travel, or have housing without an idealistic image, without an idealistic image without an idealistic image, 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 but then they go around and tell all the other religions across the world, they go around the world and tell everybody else that the ancient Egyptian people were idol worshipers. The ancient Kemetic people, they were idol worshiping. Well, what is this? What is this, Christians? Is this not idol worshiping? Christians, is this not idol worshiping? Huh? But like I tell y'all all the time, what does God stand for? It stands for what? Government of democracy. Same people that go around and tell you that they're Christians and all this other stuff are the most ruthless idol worshipers and terrorists and extremists that the world has seen in a long time. This isn't idol worshiping? This isn't. No. God stands for exactly for what it stands for. It stands for government of democracy. That's what their God is. That's who they worship. This is what you use for your food, shelter, and clothing. This is who you worship. You've never seen God before. This is the only God you've ever worshiped. And you will sell your soul or have already sold your soul for it. And they know this. It's just when the people around the world don't want to participate in it, then God gets jealous. And we've already talked about the jealous God in the Christian Bible that these Europeans believe in. And then you see the Son of God that they call Donald Trump right now, who's going around and chastising everybody who does not believe or will not worship their God. That's what it says in the Bible. It says that God is a jealous God and will have no other gods worship except him. And isn't that how the United States government works? Is it not a jealous God? Any country who disobeys the government of democracy, isn't the penalty death? Isn't the penalty sanctions, tariffs? Because they don't want to worship God. Isn't the reason why Russia is at war right now and they have established themselves a BRICS coalition standing for Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa? Isn't that why we're at war right now across the world? Because nobody wants to take this graven, idolized image and use it for their currency in order to buy oil and export their goods from one country to the next? Isn't that jealousy? Doesn't that prove that the God in which they worship is a jealous God? So when black people, you wonder why white people are always in our business all the time, it's because they worship a jealous God because they are jealous within themselves. And they don't want you to achieve nothing without their permission. It's not by mistake that Trump speaks as if he runs the world. It's not by mistake that Trump speaks as if he is a god over all of the other races of the world. It's not by mistake. They speak that way for a reason. When you really sit back and think about it, you ask yourself, where did these people get this authority to be able to tell us anything or any other nation on the planet? The reason why they feel that way is because they feel that they are God. And if you don't worship the government of democracy and your nation is not a democratic nation, you are fit to be destroyed. You will be penalized. You will be sanctioned. You will not be able to eat. Your people will be starving. We will curse your nation. And we will cause the plague of famine, disease, and poverty on your people. Tell me I'm lying. What is Trump's famous words? If you don't do what Trump wants you to do, he got a phrase that he's been using for a very long time. It's called, "You're fired." And what does "you're fired" mean? "You're fired" means that you will no longer be able to provide for yourself economically. Because this curse right here has done away with nature and has made man God. No longer is nature God no more. Man is. In other words, you're fired to hell. You're strucken to hell. You will no longer be able to provide yourself with housing, food, or clothing because you have been fired by your employer. Not something I'm making up, but the reality of living inside of a capitalist society where man has taken over all of the resources and kept them for himself, the elite, the businesses of the world, while everybody else suffers or is made to become subservient to their masters. That's the reality of what we live in now. And since Iran doesn't want to adhere to the power of the government of democracy or God, they ought to be punished with fire and brimstone. Think about that. Go all the way over there to tell those people what they can and cannot do. On their own land. But see, that's all part of the sorcery. That's all part of the magic. That's all part of the control mechanism. Freedom through domination. We won't allow nobody to tell us what we can and cannot do. That's why every time the Iranians shoot out a missile into the Strait of Hormuz and tell them what they can and can't do over there, America responds to let them know that no, we tell you what you can and cannot do, not the other way around. Two sorcerers using sorcery two extremists, two terrorist organizations. And we just all participate in it, and I gotta get up and go to work. Gotta make that money so I can pay my rent to live on an earth that's free. Huh? Gotta do it. Gotta make that dollar. Gotta stack my chips up. I get it. But just be aware of it. Be knowledgeable of it. Don't be a fool. Don't lose your power. You see what I'm saying? Don't lose it. Somebody said religion is garbage. Yeah. Religion is nothing but magic. Always has been. It's a way of captivating the minds of those who haven't been blessed with proper understanding of what life is. So it's a weak explanation for weak people. And only those who have a genius mind state can be able to see through the fog. Only those who live in the realm of reality will be able to actually see reality. And it's always been that way. Some people have a higher awareness than others. Some people just have no awareness at all. But when you have a high form of awareness, you're able to see things that other people can't see. But if you can't see, then you will forever be blind. And you will be a tool for those who can see. Y'all go to my website, check out my website, jewelsfromthethrone.com. Jewelsfromthethrone.com. Listen, go over there, get you some of that soursop so you can get those parasites out of your body and you can build your strength up to a higher level. You can have more mental clarity in your mind instead of the vampire parasitic mind that is not looking to create, but looking to feed itself off of other people. The same way you eat off of the universe, the duality is that the universe will eat off of you. So if you want to be at your highest potential state, you have to, you know what I'm saying, cleanse your body specifically of parasite, especially if you eat meat and fruits that haven't been cured. You'll be suffering from parasites. Your energy level will be low. Your ability to focus, think, start something, and finish it will be low because you won't understand what's going on with your body because you won't be able to focus. And especially a lot of you vampires who spend majority of your time in the darkness, make sure that you get yourself some soursop so that you can cleanse your own mind. Ashe? I'm going to look back right now. We're going to do a little. We're going to do a little look back now at Trump and things that he promised to the African American community as we continue on with our the phone lines are still open if you have the heart to call in. It's 323-497-6825. What he called the platinum plan. Y'all remember that? Y'all remember when Trump came out and said he had a platinum plan for America, for Black America?
I don't know about Herschel. I'd watch him in college. I'd watch him carry that ball. But, I think he'd do just as well as a senator or a governor. We're going to have to start talking to him about that. He's a fantastic person, great man. I'm honored to be back in the heart of Georgia with the truly incredible organization, Black Voices for Trump, and we appreciate it.
How'd that work out for you, black folks?
In 39 days, we're going to win 4 more years in the White House. And we will do it with a record number of votes from the Black community. That's all happening. That's all happening. We're getting a lot of, see the people back there, they're saying, what's going on over here? They're not happy about it, but that's okay. Our movement is welcoming millions of Black Americans back to the Republican Party, the party of Frederick Douglass and Abraham Lincoln.
See how he suckered you in?
When I ran for president 4 years ago, I looked at the dismal and shameful record of the Democrat Party and asked Black Americans, what the hell do you have to lose, right?
What do you have to lose,
And they all
black
said,
folks?
you shouldn't use the word hell, but I said, it's just more descriptive. Doesn't work as well without it. Today, I want to share what you have to gain from voting Republican on November 3rd. Will be the biggest election of our lives. For decades, Democrat politicians like Joe Biden have taken Black voters for granted. They made you big promises before every election, and then the moment they got to Washington, they abandoned you and they sold you out. The Democrat Party used you and they lied to you every single time. You know it better than anybody else knows it. The Democrats will always take back the vote. What they want to do is they'll take that vote back. They want to take the Black voter for granted, and they have taken the Black voter for granted. And it's not fair, it's not right, and it's not going to happen, because we're going to have such a victory like you've never had before. In 2016, thank you.
How stupid can we be?
In 2016, I made you a solemn pledge that whether you voted for me or not, I would be your greatest champion. Since that time, I've delivered even more than I promised. It's one of those things. Few politicians do that, but I believe we have. Before the China virus, we built the greatest economy for African Americans in the history of our country, and we are doing it again. In the first 3 years, we achieved the lowest Black unemployment rate in history. The Black youth unemployment rate reached an all-time low.
Lies.
We achieved the largest job gains for African Americans on record.
Lies.
Black Americans saw the largest increase in home ownership.
Lies.
The poverty rate for African Americans reached the lowest level ever recorded.
Lies.
And last year, 811,000 African Americans were lifted out of poverty, the most in over 51 years.
Lies.
In my first 3 years, we lifted 6.6 million people out of poverty, the largest poverty reduction of any president in the history of our country. I did more for the Black community in 47 months. I saw they used that line, so I don't want to ruin it by saying it a second time. It was in the video, but I will say it again. Than Joe Biden did in 47 years. And I'm here today to announce a brand new plan to deliver more opportunity, more security, more fairness, and more prosperity to black communities.
Lies.
We call it the Platinum Plan.
Yeah, I know.
And that's a contract with black Americans, and it's going to be something that people talk about for a long time to come.
Yeah, talking about
if you vote Republican over the next 4 years, we will create 3 million new jobs for the black community. Open 500,000 new black-owned businesses. Increase access to capital in black communities by $500 billion. And this includes investing in community development, financial institutions, and minority depository institutions. Build up peaceful and safer urban neighborhoods with the highest standards of, and you know this, of policing. We want the highest standards. We have to have highest standards of policing. Bring even greater fairness to the justice system. We did criminal justice reform. We remember that. Even greater, we will create a national clemency project to right wrongful prosecutions and to pardon individuals who have reformed their life. You saw Alice, right? We love Alice. She had another 24 years to go. Can you believe it? She served 22 years. She had another 24 years to go. It was...
If you live in San Diego, you've probably heard of people going over to Mexico to get their dental implants done. But you should know that what...
Lies, 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 lies. Man, that man lies so much, yo. Huh? What do you have to lose? Look like a whole lot to me. Lies. Lies, 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 lies. And every 4 years, they go get them a group of black folks to go inside of those little businesses, them little halls that they got, and them niggas get up there and they cheer. All paid advertisement, all paid sellout ass niggas. They get in there and they shake the little Donald Trump card. We for Trump and he gonna do this for us. Tell me, how has that worked out? Nothing has changed. Because at the root of the problem, it's not even necessarily Trump. It's the fact of the matter is that we're in a racist country for them, by them. And the situation ain't going to change unless we change it. Unless we legislate for ourselves. If we don't legislate for ourselves and we keep thinking that, you know what I'm saying, if we go to the polls on November 3rd and we vote for them, that shit gonna change, we keep fooling ourselves. What's the definition of insanity? Doing something over and over and over and over again, expecting a different result. Trump ain't no different than Biden. Trump ain't no different than Clinton, Bush, senior and junior. Nothing's changed. The only thing that's changed is your clothes.
Wealth building in the black community.
It's called
Bring
pandering.
more manufacturing back to the USA, which we're doing anyway. And back to the inner cities, which have been largely forgotten, although not so much in the last 3 years when you get right down to it.
Still forgotten.
Thank you. And Democrat policies that import low-wage foreign workers from overseas to replace black workers in our inner cities. Joe Biden cares more about the citizens of foreign countries than he does about black Americans living in our own country. I will always put Americans first, and that includes, very, very importantly, black Americans. And there's much more in our plan, which we're releasing today, so we'll get everyone a copy, and it's actually been very well received, and we appreciate that. The Platinum Plan is a bold vision that we can and really will achieve over the next 4 years, and we'll be able to do it, if not sooner. Unlike my opponent, I'm not a career politician, thank goodness. I get results, and I keep my promise, and you've seen that. You've seen that. Together, we will not only build up America's black communities, we'll help with your vote, with the Platinum Plan. We'll lift up all forgotten communities, and we'll strengthen our entire nation. And we are going to have an incredible 4 years, but more importantly, we're going to have an incredible 40 years. We're going to have many, many great years because we're setting a foundation for the future. So when I'm not here, you're going to be here forever, especially look at these young people over here. You're going to really be there for a long time, but we want this for long term. This year, the Republican Party has 26 black Republicans running for Congress. Where are they? Are they here? Are they here? A lot of them are here, yeah? Whoa. That's a good-looking group of people. And you're doing well. Just about in every instance. Well, we're going to help you to do even better. We'll be helping you. You watch. And we're thrilled to be joined today by 8 of them. Raise your hand. Which are the 8? Oh, that's so great. Yeah. They have what it takes. That's great. That's fantastic. Great job. One of them I've endorsed very strongly. I saw an ad that I liked. I thought it was great. Raise your hand, please. What a great. They've been now endorsed, I will tell you. And congratulations, by the way. That's going to be it's going to be a fantastic night, November 3rd. Now, I don't know, with this ballot situation, it's, you're not going to see it. November 3rd, the Democrats are playing games. You see that? You see they found ballots in a waste paper basket. They found ballots dumped in a stream. Take a look at Iowa, the primaries. You remember the primary? They went to Iowa. We love Iowa, but they tried this ballot concept, and they still don't know who won. That was a long time ago. That was in their primary, the first primary. And it's a very terrible thing that's happening, very, very terrible thing. But you're going to be raising the hand, if not November 3rd, hopefully shortly thereafter. I know you're going to be raising your hand. With me, we may end up in a dispute for a long time because that's the way they want it. But we're going to end up winning, that's for sure. Okay? When I give my State of the Union address next year, I look forward to welcoming a historic number of black Republican members of...
Listen, I'm not going to let y'all have to suffer through that and hear all the lies that man has told. And let me take this back. Not just him, but every president has never prioritized us. It come a point in time, man, where we have to start prioritizing ourselves. And I know that probably sounds like a radical concept for a lot of people, but you can't go for the magic tricks that these people keep putting on you. Anybody who's ever watched the election process, you know that majority of the things that happen during the election process is fake. Majority of those people that's inside of there, that's cheering and acting all hype and stuff like that, and that's all fake. Every last promise that he has given us as black people in America, never one time mentioning reparations, is fake. They haven't done nothing for us. When are we going to learn that anything that we want, we're going to have to do it for ourselves by just understanding the power of the pen and paper? Same way he's gonna write things, same way he got in office and said, hey, I'm about to sit here and write all of these magic spells, and then we're gonna implement them on the society. We have the same power too, believe it or not. We have the same power. We just don't realize that we have that power. We don't realize how powerful we are. We just want to sit around and hope that, the crumbs that fall off the table fall on our plate. Then we get mad when the crumbs fall on the floor, or the other races of the world come over here and start scraping crumbs off our plate and put on theirs. You get what I'm saying? It's all about our own understanding. We have the power. We have the ability to do for self. We can't keep sitting around thinking that Donald Trump or the next European that they put in power is all of a sudden about to rewrite history and start doing for black folks when they have showed you that they are vampires and that their main objective ain't to do for you, but to do to you. Let me say that again. Their main objectives ain't to do for you, but to do to you. To siphon off your energy and use it for themselves. That's the truth. You can be a fool. I've never voted, not one time, man, since I've been alive, have I ever voted for white supremacy. And I never will. I don't care how slick or how many people cheer. I don't care about none of that. There's no way I'm about to go cast a stone, cast a vote for a corrupt system that has done nothing but brutalize and terrorize our people. We got to be fools to keep falling for this trickery. And we need to get these house niggas out of motherfucking power, like Steve Harvey and the rest of these Negroes that keep trying to tell us that the only way that we're going to get anywhere is through them. The only way we're going to be able to ever be economically sufficient is through them. The only reason why they believe that is because they're small-minded or they've been paid off. We got a pen and paper just like everybody else do. The only thing is we're not using it to our best ability. But once we realize that we can and we should and we have these abilities, we'll stop looking to them for approval. We'll stop looking to them for acceptance. We'll stop looking to them period. All those promises. The Platinum Plan. Anybody heard anything about the Platinum Plan since? Please. If you're part of white America and you're a Trump supporter out there, please, I would love for you to call in and tell me about this Platinum Plan and how it's been working out for black folks since Trump's been in office. The number's 323-497-6825. That's 323-497-6825. 497-6825. Please tell me about this beautiful platinum plan and why black folks should ever vote again after being spit in the face by Donald Trump. Because I ain't heard nothing about the platinum plan, and I'm sure black folks had totally forgotten that there was ever even a plan in place. Anybody know anything about the platinum plan? Have anybody seen anything that's been going on about the platinum plan? Any platinum? Have you received any platinum? Anybody know about this Trump platinum plan? He told us, what the hell do we have to lose for voting for him? What do we have to lose? Only thing I've been seeing is white supremacy running amok, going around striving to oppress not only the brown black people over here, but the Latino people. Now they're over there fighting against the Iranians. They then went down there and kidnapped the Venezuela president, then put an earthquake over there and destroyed the whole nation. Is this part of the platinum plan? Because I don't see shit that's platinum. What the hell do we have to lose? Look like dignity. Because that's the main thing, black folks, that you lose every time you vote for these clowns. You lose your dignity. You lose your self-respect. You sit there and listen to this man. We have 26 black people running for office. How many of those 26 black people actually got in office? See, they've been some of the slickest talkers, man, that we've ever seen. They've been real good every 4 years, talking real slick, real greasy, telling us what they're going to do for us and this and that. And listen, where's the platinum plan at? Huh? Where's the platinum plan at? Where's the platinum? We got a platinum plan set up. Platinum. Where's it at? I don't want to hear nobody these next 4 years, man. We need to start getting rid of those kind of people. Those black folks, man, that'll easily sell you out, sitting there cheering. And I would like to call, if there's anybody out there that was in that crowd that was cheering for Donald Trump when he was talking about they got 26 black people running for office, please, could you call in and let me know why you was cheering so loud for him for? Why you was so hyped up to hear your master speak about what he go do for you? So enthusiastic about this platinum plan that he had in place for black people. And can you tell me the results of this platinum plan and how it has benefited us in any way, shape, or form? I got a better plan. It's called the gold plan. And I'm going to tell you the same thing that he told you. What the hell do you have to lose? Because obviously following behind them ain't got you nowhere. All it's gotten is Your tax dollars diverted for something else. Your tax dollars diverted not to your community, but to theirs. Following behind ignorance only makes you ignorant. And if you listen to that speech that man just gave you, and you ain't came to the conclusion that casting my vote for a Democrat or a Republican makes me ignorant, I don't know what to tell you. All those promises that he made and told us what the hell do we have to do if we just cashed our vote. We gave our vote to this man for nothing. No results. We asked him for reparations. Not happening. We gave it to him for nothing. And in a couple years from now, it's going to be another one, probably Gavin Newsom, who's going to come up and say, hey, what do you have to lose? I've been a champion for black folks. I've helped the black community start bringing off a whole bunch of shit that you know for a fact ain't true. Shit that you know for a fact ain't gonna happen. Things that you know for a fact I got a better plan. I can show you how by using just these two elements can change your whole existence. The same way we built all of these empires across the world with just the pen and the paper. By understanding that we have the ability to legislate for ourselves. And as soon as we come with a thought and put it in action, it'll manifest itself into existence. But if you keep thinking that these Europeans are going to use their pen and paper for you, not only are you fooling yourself, but you're sending your kids straight to hell. You can't get nowhere following behind ignorance. You can't follow behind people who don't have your best interests at heart. You can't follow behind people who don't identify with your struggle. See, I identify with your struggle because guess what? Generationally, I've gone through the same things that you have. I've been where you've been. Trump ain't been where you've been. Bush ain't been where you've been. Clinton ain't been where you've been. They just pander to you. But actual change comes from people who actually identify with you. Actual change comes from people who look just like you, come from the same dirty streets that you come from. It's time for change, and I'm not bringing no hope with it and trying to sell it to you like Obama. But what I'm telling you is that just from these two elements, we can change our whole existence. We can change the policies inside of our communities and execute them just by being unified. We can make real change without them. Let me tell you something, black folks, how powerful you is. White people came over here with not a dollar and a dime. But because they had us, they were able to build a whole nation. Why don't we use us to build our own nation? If we're that powerful that we can make a bunch of peasants from Europe the greatest nation on the planet, what makes you think that we can't use that same power for ourselves? We have. Every time you go over there to Kemet or Nubia and you see all those archaeologists over there digging in the ground, trying to find gold, jewelry, artifacts, that's a reminder of your greatness, a reminder of what you can do when you work your magic, a reminder of why people are so jealous of you. That's why history is so important, and it's why they don't want us to identify with our former glory. Because they know that once you have the proper understanding of who you are, there is no limitations at all. See, the power of belief within self is the greatest power any man can have. When you believe within yourself, there's nothing you can't manifest. You can write your own destiny and write your own future. You don't have to worry about anything that this Cheeto man says at all, because it'll be completely irrelevant to you, just like it's completely irrelevant to me. I manifest my own existence. I manifest my own future. I need not worry about what the next man says or does. We have that power. And we can sit around and continue to be sold a bunch of BS by a bunch of racists, or we could do for self. Listening to Donald Trump is like listening to nothing. He's not going to do nothing for you, hasn't done anything for you, will never do anything for you, hasn't done anything for you. You'll be a damn fool when this next election come up to listen to anything they have to say. When it comes to our own destiny and our own future, they should be nowhere involved in it. We should have nothing. We should not want to do anything with them, for them, or by them. How many more presidents do we have to keep having before we realize that we are the presidents of our own life and destiny? We be fools. And it's time for the black man to take accountability for his own house. It's time. Sitting around thinking that Trump and his platinum plan, which don't exist, is going to ever manifest something into your life, it's foolish. I want to show y'all something else before we shut this down, but I think this is very, very important. Very, very important. Very, very, very important, because I want to just show you the truth of what's really going on. You got to know the truth, man. And you got to see things for what they are and not what they appear to be. You know what I'm saying? And never taking nothing off face value. Going and doing the research for yourself. It's very important, because these politicians are very
of America
conniving.
And all the people who literally and figuratively built this country. Right now, we can exclusively share a new report from ABC News in a first-of-its-kind collaboration with the 10 Million Names Project, an initiative dedicated to finding the names of the roughly 10 million people who were enslaved in pre- and post-colonial America. We set out to find the living descendants of the enslaved people who built the White House. Over nearly 2 years, the talented team at American Ancestors combed through hundreds of records across several states to make this happen, and it's a reveal one family
Fair use.
never expected. Every year, millions of people from around the world visit our nation's capital. But there's a hidden history here, especially on Pennsylvania Avenue.
I wake up every morning in a house that was built by slaves.
Mrs. Obama exposed a fact that's often overlooked, that enslaved people's unpaid labor helped build the White House.
Unpaid.
Her comment inspired an ambitious question that for America's 250th anniversary, we set out to answer. Could we find the living descendants of the enslaved people who built the White House, an endeavor that's never been accomplished before?
Ain't never been accomplished, motherfucker didn't care.
The genealogists at American Ancestors in Boston combed through hundreds of records across several states before finding Ashley Swain, a potential living descendant.
Hi, Ashley?
Hi, yes.
And after confirming her family's genealogy,
I'm talking to the right person. That's really great news.
we asked her and her mother Jackie to come to Washington, D.C. so we could reveal our incredible discovery.
Hi, how you doing?
Hi, Ashley.
Lindsay and her fabulous team, they have uncovered some incredible information about one of your ancestors that is truly first of its kind. So before we get to that, just hearing that, what's going through your mind?
I just said, oh, wow.
Right?
Yeah. I think for me, it's just excitement, nervousness, all the things. It's just like, how did I get here?
Lindsay, the table is yours.
So I'm going to just share with you, if we all can just pass these down. What we want to do is make connections between each individual. So you'll see Ashley, you're on the bottom here, and then Jackie, your grandfather, Ashley, and your father, Robert Smith. This generation, James Peter Smith and Beatrice Marie Hicks. This is your first great-grandparents. Your second great-grandparents are James Hicks and Fanny Rome. Your third great-grandparents are William Hicks and Sarah E. Ambush. They're from Washington, D.C. And then your fourth great-grandfather and grandmother are Calvert Ambush and Patsy Cried.
At the top, we see Calvert Ambush. Can you please tell us the significance of this gentleman in American history?
Your fourth great-grandfather, Calvert Ambush, was one of the enslaved men who built the White House. One of the most iconic landmarks in America.
Fuck that house.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my goodness.
Your great-great-great-grandfather helped build
The White House.
the White House.
Wow.
Then where the money at, bitch?
I'm a little teary-eyed.
To know that you have an ancestor
my
that has such a significant role in our country's history.
Yes.
Is this a first
In our country.
for a genealogical organization to be able to link a living descendant to an enslaved individual like this who worked in the White House?
Yes, this is the first time we've been able to make the connection. It's incredible that the two of you are sitting here with me. I've been looking for you for 2 years.
Vince, I want to bring you in on the conversation here.
Yeah.
Just give us the historical context.
We know the original White House begun construction in 1792, but then, after the White House was burned in 1814,
Right.
By
in
the British.
1829, President Andrew Jackson had the North Portico built. And that's where we find Calvert Ambush employed.
Oh my goodness.
Calvert Ambush, a name reclaimed, an ancestral family connection restored. We chose the Octagon Museum as the location for the reveal because of its connection to their ancestor story. Professor Vince Brown took us to the basement where the original slave quarters from the 1800s are still intact.
Calvert Ambush's story doesn't end with slavery. He was freed. He was emancipated by another former slave named John Freeman, who was his uncle. And John Freeman lived in this house when James Madison was president, in this basement.
The bill of sale and deed of trust records show that John Freeman took out a loan for $620 to buy his nephew's freedom. And that was a lot of money. That was a lot of money.
So when you talk about family, taking care of family,
That's it.
people struggling,
Yep.
right, to better their condition, this is that story.
Oh wow.
Now, after discovering how their ancestor contributed to its construction, Ashley and Jackie are seeing the White House and its grand north portico for the first time.
It feels unreal. It feels unreal. I
Where's
think just
money at?
even looking at it and understanding more of the history behind it.
I feel it right now. I got the chills. I won't walk past it again either without stopping here thinking about him.
It was a years-long journey to be able to make this connection for Ashley and her family. We were even able to...
Listen, man, you know, I'm a different kind of black man. You know what I'm saying? I'm a different kind of black man. I wouldn't be walking past that house. I would be writing Donald Trump and asking him, where's my money at for my ancestor who built this funky ass house for you terrorist ass white folks to go around and terrorize this whole goddamn world, including my ancestors who were enslaved by the people who own this house. I wouldn't be talking about some iconic building and how beautiful this building is, and it's iconic my ass. This shit was built off of the backs of our people. A lot of those slave people who built that house died. I'm supposed to walk by it with some pride because that's what it tripped me out about black folks is like, okay, they're trying to tell you that you're supposed to have some kind of pride and that house being built by those racist ass white folks. But all I can think about is how much torture it was because he was a slave and slaves didn't get breaks. Slaves didn't get a lunch. Slaves ain't get none of that. That man was whipped across his back. He was beaten to build that house. And I'm supposed to walk by it with some kind of pride? because one of my ancestors got gaffled to build up one of the most brutalized terrorist regimes that this world has ever seen. I'm supposed to walk past the White House and be like, yeah, you know, old Hick Ambush, you know, he built the house up, man. And I would walk past that house every day, man, and get that shit to bird. Why would I be proud to build up an instrument of oppression of my people? Why would I be proud to build up a house full of liars and thieves? And the cold thing about it is that they just did this show on the 4th of July. That's why I say, you know, I'm a different kind of black folks because, you know, I love black women. But sometimes, man, y'all just too soft, man. Now, these people didn't necessarily deserve to be cussed out. But I would have, if that was me, man, listen. I wouldn't be standing there looking at the White House over a hill with pride and shit like, I'd have been looking at that shit like it was exactly what it is, a criminal organization that enslaved my people to build something as an instrument of oppression. Not something that to be proud of. Something to be proud of is something that you make and create out of pride. Something that you make and create out of love. Work that you do that is honorable. I will be very proud. Like, I'm very proud of my great granddaddy who fought in the Civil War and murdered a whole bunch of Confederates. I'm very proud of that. I'm not proud that one of my ancestors got enslaved by some demons and was forced to build up an instrument of oppression. There's no pride in that. And the fact that they tried to convince this woman that she should be proud that her ancestor was enslaved and forced to build their own instrument of oppression is some of the worst psychological damage I've ever seen. There's nothing out of that house that has been prideful. That's the same house that just went to the UN and said that slavery wasn't illegal, so therefore we don't have to pay reparations to nobody. Pride. Iconic. Black folks supposed to be happy that we were forced to build up such an iconic building that has done nothing but terrorize our people ever since. Every president. Where's the pride at? Somebody tell me. Where? Prideful of what? Why should I be happy that you found out that one of my aunts, where's the money at? Where's the money at? If we got it documented that this man had to work for free, and I'm a ancestor of this man, where's my money at? For unpaid wages, unpaid labor. The house is still standing. Would I be wrong if I did something? My ancestors, my blood is the one that built it up. I'm supposed to be happy to build up the White House for white racist ass people who have done nothing but oppress our people. I'm supposed to be happy at this iconic building. And I tell y'all, the psychology, boy, is a mother. They will literally shit in your face with a smile and get some dumbass niggas to co-sign it. And see, what this does is their so weak reaction, or their puzzled reaction of what happened, it makes white America believe that they've done a good thing. Yeah, we enslaved you, but look what we built. You ain't built shit. We built it. You ain't built a goddamn thing. You just a vampire. You ain't built shit. We built that. And we supposed to be, and he'll do it on the 4th of July. Like, hey, look what you guys built. Aren't you proud that we enslaved your ancestors and made them build this house? Aren't you happy? Aren't you prideful? You won't never look at the White House again the same way you did before. No, I wouldn't look at the White House again ever the same way again. You damn right I wouldn't look at it the same way. Because you stole something from me. And you want me to just act like it's okay because some years have passed away. And see, that's the psychology that they have. They believe that everything that they've done has some kind of means to an end. But they don't want to acknowledge the suffering that our people have had to endure. They just wanted to tell you that, hey, aren't you happy you built up such an iconic building? That's the psychology behind them. It's a sick, twisted psychology. It's the same sick, twisted psychology of the rest of their people. It's a sick entitlement. It's a sick psychology of thinking that well, look what we've built up. Don't you guys like McDonald's and shit? Them people are sick, bro. And the further you get into their psychology, the further you'll see how really sick they are. It's like a rapist, bro. It's like a rapist doing some old nasty shit and then expecting you to like it. Nobody likes to be enslaved and tortured and forced to build something, and then generations go by and you'll be like, well, look what they did. Look what they built up. Don't you like it? Look at it. It looks nice, don't it? It's an iconic building now, right? And every president that's been in that office has done nothing but work against black folks every single presidency. They've mastered the art of selling black folks bullshit and having them eating it and tell them it's okay. Obama too, his sorry ass. I don't like that nigga either. I didn't vote for him, never will. I wouldn't care if the nigga ran for office tomorrow. I'd rather have a racist ass white folk in the White House than a clown ass nigga in there trying to feed me some BS. Period. I heard Obama say one time, and I'll never forget this a day in my life. I heard Obama say one time that we got to think about the merchant seamen who went over there and grabbed the African people. We got to think about how they felt when they was on the ships doing those jobs. Think about them. That came out the man's mouth. We got to think about how they felt when they had to travel all the way across the sea and go pick those people up. No, nigga, you got to think about that. That's why I say you got to listen to people when they talk. That man ain't never been for us. Listen to me, man. Listen to me. The psychology runs deep, bruh. That's why you look at Harriet Tubman and what she said. She said, I could have saved a whole lot more black people if they knew they were slaves. I could have saved a whole lot more black people if they knew they were slaves. There's no way in hell you could have got me to sit there and take a picture of me looking at the White House as if I'm idolizing it after hearing that my ancestor was enslaved and forced to build that house up. Where is the pride in that? Could you imagine the torturous situation of moving all of those rocks, stones? And I'm supposed to sit here and be like, well, let me look at the White House with admiration. That's like a prisoner that's been forced to build a prison, and then you find out later on that your ancestor was forced to build that prison, and now they telling you, look how iconic that prison looks. Aren't you happy that your ancestors were forced to build up this prison? Look at all the good this prison has done for your people. All the projects, all the CIA drug operations that they have came up out of this house. All the sanctions that they have put on African people across the world. Your ancestor had a part in building up this house. Wow, aren't you happy you built up this house? Twisted, man. Twisted and wicked people. Disgusting. And see, that's what their mind state is, bruh. They will literally torture you, murder you, kill you, then turn around and say, aren't you having a good time? Aren't you having a good time? Aren't you proud of what your ancestors has built up? Look at that house. Doesn't that house look beautiful? Doesn't it look gorgeous? Look at the White House. Aren't you glad your ancestors was forced to build that house? And that's why I tell you we have to build our own house, black folks. Because if we keep playing this stupid game with these people, we're going to keep getting stupid results. We're going to keep getting stupid ass people that'll sit there and try to make you be proud of some dumb ass shit like that. And then black folks, man, because we so ignorant so many times, we'll sit there and just be dumb. I'd have cussed these people out, man, if they was part of my family, yo. I'm like, you need to write the White House right now and tell them to cut your ass a check. You need to sue their ass or something. Ain't no way in hell I'm about to sit there and be like, that's okay that I found out that you tortured my ancestor, and I'm supposed to just be like, I'm not going to make no noise about it. These people are evil, always have been. It's in their DNA to be evil. And they'll sit there and try to make you complicit in their evilness. Then they want to tell you to just get over it. I ain't getting over shit. I'm not one of those Negroes to get over nothing. I ain't getting over nothing. Every time I look at y'all and I see y'all, I see you exactly who you are. Evil, diabolical, pale-faced demons. And there's nothing that could ever change that. And I hope to God that Ra continues to burn the shit out of y'all asses every single day your ass go outside. The sun will turn your ass red lobster red. Every day. Every day you go outside, I hope the sun burn the shit out of you. Burn your ass to a crisp. I hope y'all pale bastards burn in hell. I'm going to do like y'all do. I'm going to say some evil shit then smile. Yeah, I hope your pale ass burn in hell. Ain't no love here. But you know who this is. It's the Nesubiti Menkepera Thutmose the Great. Hoping that Ra continues to burn the hell out of you people every single day. Hoping that Europe sets itself on fire. May Ra continue to bless our people with the divine sunlight that we use every day for nutrients. And may Ra continue to use his ultraviolet powers to destroy the evil demons upon this planet. And burn y'all asses to a crisp. You might fool some, but you can't fool them all. And I'm one of them Negroes you can't fool. May you continue to burn in hell. Hotep.